some more people are joining in right now. That's good. Should I start then? Okay. Hello everyone. Okay, let's start this session. And just like the last session, I will be recording this session too. If anyone has any problem with it, you can just let me know. I'll edit that out. Okay, so let's start with the last session's code base that we have, and let's do a quick recap with it. So in the last session, we saw how to create a PySide application, how to set up a PySide environment, a virtual environment to run your application on, how to create a custom module, how to load your QML file, and how to do slots and signals, how to emit the signals and slots, how to connect your Python code base to QML code base so that you can communicate between the two, how to call Python function from QML, and some basic QML. So that was our last session, and today I'm gonna talk something about properties, some custom properties, some notifiable custom properties, and etc etc. Let's see what how much time we get. So let's start with, okay, we did the recap. Let's start with properties. Okay, so in our last session I was telling how these properties are defined in QML and how these are declarative, how you can write JavaScript expressions instead of some static values. We did some method calls and signal emits. Let's focus on something called notifiable properties. In QML, these properties come with a signal, default signal, just like something like this. So if you have if you remember the last session, if we have a signal named mySignal, the corresponding handler would be called onMySignal. In the same way, any properties in QML has a corresponding signal which you can listen to so that you can do something when the property value changes. So for example, let's say we have a property called height. We have a predefined property called height of rectangle. There will be a predefined signal for that height property which will be named on height changed. Here you can write a JavaScript block of code or some JavaScript expression or do a method call. In this case, I am just gonna log what the current height is. What I'm trying to do is I set a width which is static, and I'm setting a height which is being set from this method get height. Let me do something. in the last session what we did is we called some method, and the method emitted some signal, and I just logged some values. Let's say this my signal, where is it? Sorry, this connected signal sends a value called of type integer, and let's call it height. What I'm planning to do is, when I click this button, I want to set the height that I am getting from Python. So what I wanna do is I'm gonna set the height of that rectangle to the value I am receiving, and on Python side I want to define a class variable, say for example 200, and on every click I want to increase the value by 10, and I wanna emit that value with connected signal, and on receiving the connected signal it should set my height. And here I have written a handler for the corresponding change handler of height property. Every default value in QML has a corresponding handler, corresponding changed handler, which is named like this on property name changed. You can use it to handle your handle any code base that you want to do. So what it should do is, on clicking the button, where is it? On clicking this button, it should call my method. In my method, it should set the height of that variable, the height variable to 200, value plus 10, and it should emit the height value with the signal, connected signal, and here on receiving the connected signal it should set the height value of rectangle, height property of rectangle with the value that we received. So let's run and test it. So okay, we got the log as 250, which means when the height value was changed, this handler was called and the current height was printed, which is 250. Why is it 250? Okay, and height is 250 because it is being set from this method. Now if I click on this button, the height changes to 210 because the height value is 200 and 10 is being added to it, and it is being emitted, and the height is set here. If I click pressing the button, the height should increase by 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. And we keep getting the logs on change handler because we handled a signal called on property name changed, and in here we are changing the height. The reason that I am explaining why we need these handlers, because we are gonna define some custom properties of this module. Right now what we are doing is we are calling some methods which we registered as slots. What I want to do is I want to do something like dot say for example, let's do something. I want to do something like my console.log my module.name. This is a property, this is a method. We already discussed how to define a slot or a method or expose a Python method to QML. Now we want to do this. To define a property, what you need to do is you need something similar to this. Before that, let's expose this internal class variable, private variable, as a property, so that I can do something like my module dot height. And instead of calling this function, I wanna do my module dot height. To do this, I need to define a property called height, and I need to pass some parameters here. Just like signal or slots, the first parameter is the data type, which is in this case integer. Second parameter of this property is a getter method, which will, when calling that method, it should return the value of the property that we want to expose to QML. In this case, we need to define a getter method which will return the value of the property that we are trying to expose. And the second parameter of the property constructor should be reference to the getter method. The getter method doesn't need to be a slot because we are not calling this function directly from QML. This should be it. This should expose this height property, and we can if everything goes right, we will be able to set we will be able to read the property data, property value like this, my module dot height, and this getter method should set what the value is. Since we are getting this value from this property, okay, let's just run this. What am I running? We don't need this method. Let's set this height to 50. So as we can see, the rectangle is smaller than earlier, which means this 250 value is not being used. Instead, the value is, and the property value is retrieved from my module with the property height, which is exposed from the Python class like this. We need to instantiate an object of property class, and the first parameter should be the data type of that property, and the second parameter should be the getter method. Now let's say we don't have this signal. Let me just comment out the previous things that we did in the last session. I will just comment these out. Let me also comment out this height change. This is working as expected. The height value is being exposed from here. Now instead of calling it my method, I wanna say this, I wanna declare this as increase height, which should increment the value by 10, and the value of this height property is being exposed as a property from here. We are using this value here, so from the initial looks of it, height is set to myModule.height, and when I click this button, it should call myModule.increaseHeight, and increase height should set the height value to +10. Let's run and let's see what the result is. So this is our application. The height is initially 50 from here, and after calling this increase height here, I am logging what the height value is. Let's test. So we clicked okay, insufficient arguments, line number 31. What is that increase height? Oh, okay, my bad. Okay, initial value was 50. The rectangle is having some height, 50 height, and on clicking this button it should call this increase height method. Sorry, and increase height should increase the value of height by 10. The log here, after calling this method, it says the value has increased, but our rectangle is not increasing its height, because even though the value has changed, the QML engine doesn't know yet that the value has changed. To let the QML engine know that the value has changed, we need to define something called a signal, which is associated with this property, and it will be emitted when the value of that property is changed, so that the QML engine knows that it needs to re-render that something which is using this property because the value has changed. In this case, since we are just increasing the height and we are not notifying the QML engine that the value has changed, the rectangle's height will not change. QML says QML is declarative, because QML is totally dependent upon the underlying signals to determine what has changed in what value has changed and what things need to re-render. Let me show you how to implement this. To do this, we just need to have another property, another named property, which is called notify, and in here goes a signal, a reference to a signal. To define a signal, we will define a signal like this, def, we will call this, for example, height changed. It will be a signal, and we will associate this height change signal with this property, like what this tells the QML engine that we are defining a property named height. The parameter, the data type of that property is integer. The method that we will get the value from is getHeight. Whenever we call this getHeight method from this Python class, we will get the value of the height, and when the height value is changed, this event will be emitted. So whenever the height value is being changed, all you need to do is you need to emit that signal, which is in this case height changed dot emit. What this will do is this will notify the QML engine that the property called height has changed its value and you need to re-render. So in this case, after calling this function, the height will be changed and this will emit, and since the height property is being used here, QML will re-render this rectangle. Or so yeah, let's just run. Now if we click this, as you can see, the values are changing and the height is increasing because QML knows this value is changing. What we just did is we exposed a property with a we exposed a notifiable property, so that later we can let the QML engine know that my value is changing and you need to update your UI. So this is what properties and notifiable properties are. Let me quickly check the chat if someone has any questions. What's the reason to define connections as a property in my module? There's no such reason. We can take it outside also, no issues. I just like to keep everything related to that my module inside it. We can do this also. We can do this also, and in this case, since I am declaring it outside the module, I need to set a target which will be the reference to that instance of that module, and you can handle your signals like this. Let me show you. Since I emitted a signal called on height change, I will be able to handle it here. Okay, so we are receiving the signal. So whenever you are defining whenever you are instantiating your connections object outside of that module, you need to specify which target you are trying to connect to. I guess that explains your question. Okay, I think dot get height. Did I do something wrong? Okay. It's okay, so no more questions. I will continue with my session. So we now know what properties are and what notifiable properties are. Let's move on to exposing Python list as properties and iterating them in QML. For example, let's say we have some Python list of objects. Let's say we have some data in Python, some list of objects, list of dictionaries, as Pythoners should say. We want to expose this variable, this data list to QML, and want to iterate on this data, and want to create a list of text as defined in in this key. To do that, I will define another property just like the height property. I would say that property is named data. I would instantiate a object of class property. I would say that the data type of this variable is list. And the getter method to get that data is get data. That should do. Okay, that should do. This should expose this data variable and take the data from this getter function, and it should return self dot underscore underscore data underscore underscore, which is list of some Python dictionary objects. Let's see how this looks. I'll just comment out everything. I will not delete those. I will be sharing this file so that you guys can take a reference from. In QML there's something called list view, which shows some delegates or some objects in list in top to bottom manner or left to right. Let me show you how list view works. List view has something called model, which accepts anything that's iterable, either a JavaScript array, JavaScript object. In case if you pass an JavaScript object to the model property here, it will iterate over the object.keys. If you can, you can pass also list models. List models are QML types which store some iterable objects of data that you can iterate through to create some more UI elements. For now, I will be showing some example with JavaScript objects. For example, let's say we have an array of 5 elements 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. List view should iterate over each of that element, and it should make a UI component based on this property value, which is delegate. Whatever component you give in delegate should appear for each of the model data. In this case, 1 for 0, 1 for 1, 1 for 2, and so on. Let's say we want to have our delegate as text fields. It should show how do I how to do that? I forgot. Is it model data? Okay. This is how list view works in QML. So in list view, you need to provide a value to this model property, which is any iterable object, a delegate property, which will have a component which will be prepared for each of this iterable model values. Now what I want to do is, instead of providing this static value in model, I wanna use this array, a Python array, expose it as a property and use that. So we already defined that property here, which should return that Python property. And if we just do what I did here is I accidentally commented out this my module component. I use that data property from this my module component, and for each of that data, each of that model data, I am creating a label with the value as index. Index is something that is defined by list view, which will hold the index of the module. So if I run this, it should have 0, 1, 2, because there are 3 objects in the list, and for each of the object I created a label with index. It should run as expected. So it's showing 0, 1, 2 for each of the data. Now each of the model data is an object, while while exposing Python data to QML engine, PySide engine converts Python data types to QML supported data types, which is JavaScript. So it converts this Python list to JavaScript array, it converts this Python dictionary to JavaScript JSON object, and so on. Integer to JavaScript integer, string to JavaScript string. You shouldn't need to do anything to convert this data type to QML supported data type. It should automatically get converted to the supported data type, and in this case, in our case, this dictionary should automatically get converted to JSON object, and we should be able to directly use that data. In this case, what am I doing now? My bad. Each module data is being exposed by list view to the delegates under the property name model data. So for each of the for each of this, for every instance, it should have the data with under the property model data, so that since the Python dictionary is getting converted to JSON object, we will be able to do whatever we do as in JavaScript to retrieve those data. And this is as simple as I've written this. Model data should retrieve this data. And when I run this, it already works. I already showed. Whatever. Yeah. I'm showing a text with this data, and with is selected, I can show a checkbox beside okay. So what I just did is, for each of these model data, I'm showing a text with this text from the data key, and I'm showing a checkbox with the value is selected from the is selected key. Row layout in QML is available from something called qtwig.layouts. In this row layout, we have a checkbox, and the value of this checkbox will be retrieved from my model data dot is selected, which is this key here, and a label with the text model data dot data, which is this key here. This, when run, works as expected, but if you have some complicated complex data, this is not the right way to go. The correct way to define a list of objects or list of data to expose to QML would be to define a custom class, and you have that object here, and register, or you don't need to register. Let me show you what I'm trying to say. Python dictionaries is fine, but the correct way to do would be define a class define a class, and I will define two private variables, expose those variables with properties, and here I will, instead of having dictionaries, I will have object of this data class. No. This should encapsulate what I did just here with dictionaries to a custom class object, and instead of defining a Python dictionary, I could just create a new data depot object of I shouldn't be needing to do any more changes because I have kept the property name and the key of that dictionary the same. It should work just like this without any more changes to the QML side. Let's see if it errors or runs. So everything was as expected. Why I did this? Because there might be some complex objects that you need to store in an array, which always cannot be represented by just a dictionary, which is why you need some custom classes, and you need to use properties to expose those variables to QML. And just like I showed above, how to define a notifiable property if your data changes, if you think your data needs to be updated in the runtime, you will need to define a corresponding notifiable property signal with these properties, so that in the runtime in your Python code, whenever later you need to change that data, you can change that data and notify the QML engine that my data has changed. You need to re-render the UI. You can just emit that signal just like I did here. So that should be it for exposing Python list to QML and having custom class objects and iterating them over in QML. Yeah, that should be it.